Hello, welcome to my channel. If you like what you see and you hear today, please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing and sharing. I'm not going to talk about a particular case today. Instead, I would like to talk about something that's been on my mind for about a year now, if not longer, but it's ethical behavior within the true crime groups. I'm going to be talking about several points that I've sort of thought about, such as contacting the victim or their family and friends. The problem with that could be if you are contacting a supposed friend of a victim or of the victim's family member, a friend of the family member, are they really close friends with that family? Or is it just someone who's wanting their 15 minutes of fame? Because I've seen some people who have been heralded as a close friend to the family, and then when it gets down to talking about real stuff or being interviewed, you find out they're not as close as you had originally thought. And should we even be doing that? That's kind of like going real life, what they call it, is getting to know or contacting people who are involved in the situation. That's considered real life, and it's considered kind of a taboo thing to do. And that's kind of close to it. If you're contacting the family's friends, it's basically contacting the family. What about digging up records of a victim's family member? And the family member is not even being accused of anything necessarily. And I've seen people talk about some of their records, some of their past, and I think that's getting a little too involved. It's invading their privacy. And think about it, if you had a loved one who was murdered in some way, would you want someone digging into your past and finding out what your record is and your marital status and just a lot of personal things that maybe we should, shy away from that? How about contacting the minor children of family members or the victim's family? I mean, that's just common sense. I don't think adults need to be contacting any minors that they don't know. And I'm not saying that anyone has done this, because I would think that's just a given. That's just a no-no. You just don't contact children. You contact the parent, if you contact anyone at all. I mean, there should be some distance between you and the case that you're covering. I mean, why exactly are you inserting yourself in the middle of all of it? Do you have to be there in court? Do you have to go where the actual crime scene was? I mean, that's really inserting yourself right into the picture. And there needs to be a little bit of distance there, I would think. Again, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. But how about, this is the big one, making false allegations about other creators on YouTube? Well, we have seen a lot of that. I follow a lot of the true crime people on YouTube, but not everyone, because I haven't gotten around to finding you yet, I guess. But if I find you, I follow you, definitely. I subscribe. But I'm seeing a lot of people saying that this person said this and that, and this person has done this to me or that to me. And, I don't really want to listen to that. But the next point I was going to make is the arguing back and forth. Like saying something, like one day saying somebody did this, and then the next thing you know, someone's responded to that, and then it just gets uglier and uglier. Then you're saying somebody's kid's ugly, and somebody's kid has behavior problems, and like you go into their children's problems, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, this is going too far. But I have to admit, I've listened to a lot of that and laughed, because it gets humorous sometimes. It can be entertaining. And sometimes it can be warranted. Like if you're having someone badmouth you and you've not done anything wrong and they're lying about you, maybe it's warranted that you at least say, hey, that's not true. Don't listen to that person. But people take it a little too far. They start making false allegations, or they start saying really mean, hurtful things that's beyond. I mean, haven't you ever heard of somebody saying something bad about you and you turn the other cheek? I mean, you don't have to ignore what they said. You can address it. But to go back and try to say something that's meaner, than what they said, I mean, it's just going to get uglier and uglier. And I've seen it lead to absolute death threats or people saying that they had been threatened that way. And they might not have been. But you're talking about legal matters here. You're talking about people saying that they're going to sue each other, and it gets really ugly. And it could be damaging. People can lose their jobs. Someone did lose her job. Somebody causes me to lose my job and it's a false accusation, it's going to be a problem. So people can get very, very ugly, and I think it's taking it a little too far. Personally, I don't want to argue. I'm not going to talk bad. I'm not going to say anyone's names. I'm not going to sit here and make up stuff about you. I don't want to be involved in those feuds. I can't handle that kind of stress in my life. But then I wonder, is any of this actually staged? Do people agree on purpose ahead of time? Hey, I'm going to say this about you, and you can say this back. I mean, it gets so comedic sometimes and so ridiculous that I think, whoa, wait a minute here. This is not even real. Are they doing it just for subscribers? I mean, are they going that far for subscribers? I can see a little battle going back and forth. But, please, if it gets awfully nasty, and if it's just for subscribers, that would be bad. And I've heard people say that it's actually very deep. I've actually asked them questions like, where does this animosity come from? Why is it so bad? And I've proposed that maybe it was for viewers. And I've been told, no, it's way deeper than you can possibly imagine. And I'm thinking, well, damn. I mean, how does it get that bad? Excuse me cussing. Sorry, dang, sorry. But what is so bad out there that you have to dig that deep and attack that hard? And don't get me wrong, some of you who've done the biggest attacks are my favorite people to watch. You really are. And I'll let you know, I don't like to take sides. I'll compliment you here and say something about a person there, not ugly. And then I'll compliment you here and laugh and tell you good job. And I believe that. I think you're doing a good job, but the attacking makes me feel uneasy when it gets really nasty. If we want to be taken seriously, both as an individual and as a community, a true crime community, maybe we should hold ourselves to a higher standard. Maybe, are we going to police each other? Are we going to police each other by attacking each other? Or are you going to police each other by talking with the other person respectfully, one-on-one, like sending a direct message, and talking to someone as an adult and saying, hey, I think this is kind of crazy that you went off on this theory that I thought was kind of disrespectful to their children, to their family members, and maybe you shouldn't go that route. I mean, I don't know when is enough is enough. I don't know if we even should be policing each other. I don't know. Maybe you should just leave it alone. But I don't know if calling somebody out publicly, I mean, I'm kind of doing that myself with this, right? Am I not calling people out? Not really, because I'm not telling you what to do or not to do. I'm just throwing these ideas out to bounce around, talk about. Maybe you can comment below about it. But basically, why do we have these channels? Why do we have a true crime community? Do we do it for money? Do we do it to become famous? Or do we do it to educate and to prevent future crimes from happening, if that's at all possible?